Hi, everybody.
Okay, why does the live say 2:40 already?
What do you mean? I don't see a 2:40.
Mine says live 2:40, that we've already been going for 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
I don't know. Well, if we were live for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, they would see me behind the scenes going, I'm not ready yet. My hydro just went out, right?
That's my computer. Seems to be on a different time than yours.
Maybe that's why you're always on time, because you're going by the wrong time.
We only live 20 minutes from each other, but we live in different time zones.
Yeah, because mine only says 1 minute and 16 seconds at this point in time. So
okay. Anyways,
hello,
hi everybody. Welcome to the Knit Chat Cafe. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been to a cafe that's as big as ours.
I don't know. It's a lot of fun here, though.
It is a lot of fun here. Anyways, we want to welcome everybody who's in the chat, and we're so happy that you join us every week. This is the cafe where we get together and share our week with our friends. So my name is Noelle, and this is my friend
Kelly.
And we're coming to you from Southwestern Ontario in Canada. And yeah, we get together once a week, and we are a mostly knitting podcast. We never say that a lot, but we're a mostly knitting podcast. But we do some other things too. And yeah, so we're here to share. So
we are. This week, I tried my hand at some lotion making because, as everybody on here knows, I've been battling this strange bout of late life eczema, and I have decided to start making my own lotions. I know at this point what my skin will tolerate. So I started mixing and pouring some things together and added some vitamin E oil and some calendula. And I made my first little batch of lotion yesterday, which was like super cool. Cool. I feel, and I had some beeswax in there too, to emulsify everything. And I felt like, wow, I've got my own little apothecary going upstairs in my kitchen. So anyway, it all worked out, and my skin's liking it so far. So I'll report back.
Yeah. I did that at one point, but then I found another hobby.
So, another rabbit hole to fall down.
But yeah. So it is fun, and it smells so good. Like, I liked it with the essential oils, and it smells so good when you're doing it and making it. And
yeah, well, I have to be super careful right now because my skin is not handling any fragrance. But anyhow, so far I can report that it's all good. So we'll see. Yeah. There might be some more lotions and potions in my future. Who knew?
Yeah. Anyway, so it was. Well, for me anyway, it was a busy week. Mm-hmm. Seems like I say that every week. It's a busy week, but it's big family, and yeah, it was a fun week. Yes. So I actually went down to doggy sit in London.
Yes,
which was nice, because then I got to I went to the knit night at Little Red Mitten, and they actually had a little preview of the trunk show before, so that was nice. So I kind of went to the trunk show. It was the Firefly Haven. And so then I didn't go back on the Saturday, the Saturday was a brutal day. It was just rained so hard in the morning, and I was staying at Jacqueline's, but I ended up going over to Sarah's and had some nice little knit time with Sarah. So that was nice too. And then of course we had Canada Day. So we don't go to the fireworks because we're old and it's too late at night and it's past my bedtime. But we did go down to the parade, and we did have the whole family here for dinner and a few extras. So I think it was 24. I think we had 24 for like a barbecue in the afternoon. And I've just got a couple of pictures here. So the grandchildren, especially like the older ones, really like the parade. So they were getting ready for the parade, and it was a little bit chilly in the parade. So Isla's sitting on my lap, so she was keeping me warm. But that's Zoe, Molly, and Isla. And then there's a picture of the girls. Oh, this was a picture. This was after back at our place, and that's Mackenzie. And so there you can see I have my red ranunculus on that I wear for Canada Day, my red cotton ranunculus.
And your cottonlicious.
In my cottonlicious, and it's perfect for Canada Day. And then there's one more picture here of the girls getting excited before the parade started. They made themselves quite comfortable, shoes off on their blanket.
Very nice. Very nice.
Ready for the parade to start. So that was fun. So what did you do for Canada Day?
For Canada Day, actually, we didn't do any like Canada Day things. It was our anniversary this weekend. So we actually went out on Saturday. Okay, so it was kind of just a fun laid back day, but then it ended up in something kind of cool. So we farmers market first, which I haven't been to all summer because I go knitting under the bridge. So I haven't been to any markets this summer. I ran into so many people at the market, so many people. We bought only half of what we planned to get because we were so busy talking to people. And then we ran into some friends and we went out for a late breakfast. So that was a really nice start to the day. And then we went to the bulk food store because
you got
since it was our anniversary, we decided that we would be very, very bad and we were going to go to a drive-in movie. And we haven't been. Mike says he has never been to that drive-in theater, and I only remember being there once. Oh, you popped out.
And I don't know what's going on with this.
I think I took the kids there one time when we were sort of in the area staying in a cottage, I think. So that's how I ended up there. So we went to the bulk food store, which is probably Mike's favorite place of all, and got all the good treats and packed up the car that night. And we went to the drive-in theater. Now, the drive-in theater, as fun as it was a little bit of a bust because here's the thing. These newer cars, you can't leave the radio, like it's an old-fashioned drive-in theater, so you have to have your radio on. We couldn't leave the car radio on because then interior lights are on too and the dashboard all lights up. It's not like the old cars, and we didn't think that through ahead of time to bring a portable radio, so we had to leave all the car windows open and just listen to the sound that was coming out of the building, like the concession stand, which actually worked out okay. I want to show you, I do have a little picture in here from, whoops, I have to switch from the drive-in. So this was like super cool. If you see above here, like the stars were gorgeous that night. It was perfect night. So that was looking out of the moonroof in the car. And then of course there's the screen and you can see some cars in the foreground. It was a lot of fun, but luckily we were seeing the movie called A Quiet Place Day 1. So most of the movie had no talking because if you've seen The Quiet Place, you know that it's a very quiet movie. And there was actually not a lot of talking. Haley's asking if I could have used my phone. Haley, I downloaded 2 apps while we were sitting there trying to use it. And it's ridiculous because every time I downloaded an app, it wanted to tune into a station that was sort of like near whatever the app was reading. So it wouldn't just tune into whatever local station. So we couldn't listen to it that way, as I said, so we could just listen to it from outside. But since it was a quiet movie, there wasn't a lot that we missed. So that was that night. That was a great night. And then the next day, which would have been Canada Day, we did some things out in the yard and then talked to the kids and found out what everybody was up to. Our son is away. He's headed back up to Sudbury working. And then since it was still our anniversary weekend, we went out for a really nice dinner on Sunday night. So that was kind of what we did on Canada Day. But yeah, so it was a really busy, I did some sewing. Yeah. I did a dress and then I took the dress. I did a working toile and realized that it's a good thing I did because the front of the dress is too big. So then I put my thinking cap on and figured out it's really hard. You know, it's just like when you do your own hair, you just wish you could like cut your head off and take it off and put it on the table and then you could do the hair perfectly. It's like that when I'm dressmaking for myself. You know, it's really hard to be like looking at the back and checking everything out. And anyway, I need to get one of those, a dressmaking form that I can create my shape in, and then I could like pin it on to the dressmaking form. So, but anyway, I know how to do the dress, but since I'm leaving tomorrow and haven't packed a single thing and I'm leaving for 2 weeks, I'm heading to BC. And so there'll be no sewing, no more sewing before trying to pack. I've just got to get myself organized tomorrow and be ready to be out the door. Yeah, out the door tomorrow. As soon as my husband gets home from work, he's going to drive me to the airport, drop me off, say goodbye, and that's it. Okay, so now I'm just looking up a couple of comments. A few people have said that they're drive-ins. Wow, there is still such a thing. Deborah says, yes, Deborah, in our little neck of the woods, there is still such a thing, believe it or not. And when I was a teenager, I didn't live here. I lived in Nova Scotia. That was like a really big thing to do. That was what we all did as kids. And there was this couple, I should have taken this photo off my phone, but there was a couple behind us. They put their truck, they had their truck and then they turned it around. They get out, they had that whole thing set up. It looked like a beautiful bed from their home. The bed was loaded with the big inflatable bed. They brought out these great big comforters and big pillows, all in white, in this back of this truck. And they had their trays set up with their food. It was crazy. I thought that was like they obviously they're seasoned drive-in people and they knew how to do that. So,
well, the last time I went to the drive-in, I was probably maybe late teens, early 20s. And it was one night and we had nothing to do. And I was with my girlfriend and my brother and his friend. And my brother was only a year younger than me. My brother and his friend were going to the drive-in. So we decided all four of us would go together. So we started off like my brother and his friend were in the front because it was their car and they were driving, and me and my girlfriend in the back. Well, it ended up my girlfriend and my brother's friend in the back and me in the front with my brother watching the movie. And let's just say they weren't watching the movie.
I bet they weren't. I bet they weren't.
I'm like, well, I'm not doing this again.
No.
But yeah,
Well, you can't even do, okay, let me just say that. You can't even do things like that in your car anymore. I was saying how we couldn't even listen to the movie Noelle when you signed out because we can't leave the car radio on anymore. It lights up all the dash and then all the lights are so bright, right? So we had to just listen to the sound from the concession stand. But you can't even like sit in your car and do what people do at drive-in theaters, because now there's like the big thing in between and the shifter, and they're not cars are not designed for that kind of events anymore. So next time I think we will take the truck, we'll flip it around. We will be prepared, better prepared.
Yeah. And I just want to say I didn't have knitting with me on that time either.
I had knitting with me, but yeah. Oh yeah. Like we had so many snacks. We had a charcuterie and then we had all the snacks in the bulk. It was fun. It was a really fun night. It was kind of fun. We didn't get home until 3:00 in the morning. So
that's like,
we slept in on Sunday. Yeah. A little bit on Sunday too. So, okay. Well,
so we should
you're back.
Move on. I'm back. I don't know what this does. The computer just went black. I'm going to have to get Ross to take a look at it and just see so I don't know. Don't know. Cause it did that last week too.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned earlier, are you au naturel curl tonight?
It is. Yes, it is. This is what it does. And I didn't feel like straightening it or curling it. So this is it. So, okay. So a few questions that we had. Did you have any? You go first.
No, I actually didn't have any this week.
Okay. Someone had asked what are the best yarns to use for baby knits? Like what fibers and what you maybe should avoid. So I pretty much think the only thing, like I think it depends on the sensitivity of the baby, right? Like as far as whether they're sensitive to wool or alpaca or whatever. The only thing that I think they probably suggest that you don't use is something like mohair that's got fibers that detach, because that could easily get caught in the nasal passages. So it's a good idea not to use like that type of fiber for baby knits. I'm not sure at what age they say that is okay, but definitely not for newborn or gift knits. I know you and I like to use something that we can throw in the washer, especially for a mom that we don't know how much time she's going to have to handle anything that she might have to hand wash. So something that's maybe partly wool, but has some acrylic or some nylon in it so that you can actually throw it in the washer and dryer. I know that Barocco vintage line has worked for us. And I believe that someone also said Estelle has a very similar yarn with the same fiber content. A superwash like fingering weight yarn is actually good for some smaller knits because you can throw it in the washer and dryer. I mean, it obviously will still last longer if you don't, or, stay in shape better if you don't. But, a small baby knit's not going to be worn for a huge amount of time anyway. So did you have any other thoughts on that?
No, I think you covered.
Yep. I think it's the biggest thing is to no mohair. So
yes.
Because even when we're knitting with mohair and you feel like you're sneezing and you get those fibers in your nostrils, and ours are a lot bigger than babies. So, and then the next question was about shorty socks, and do they actually stay up or do they slip down? I know that you like the heel tab socks. I like them too, and they stay up. I've not had a problem with any other socks falling down either. Like I think as long as you get your heel depth right.
Yes.
then they should stay up. But if your heel depth is short, it may tend to pull down on the sock.
Yeah.
So
I do have some that I made like when I probably like my first few pairs,
yeah,
and they were pretty shallow. They like I felt like, oh, I just want them to kind of hide in the shoe. That's not really what you want to go for, to be honest. You want to make sure that they are high enough up onto that ankle that you can get a
yes,
good snug fit so that they do
yep.
stay in place. There is one pattern, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, that my friends at West were making. We showed it on here. It was made in the Turtle Pearls trench coat color, the pattern. I could see the pattern and I can't remember the name. Maybe somebody in here will remember. But it is like a no-show shorty.
Okay. Okay.
That they swear they golf in them. They swear that
Okay.
they stay on. I haven't tried them yet.
Okay.
So
yeah, and I always think if you've got one and you've got your heel and you've just got the rib, like you want the rib tight enough that it stays up, but not too tight that you can't get it on.
yeah.
So I think the not being able to get it on and off is the how tight you do, either if you do toe up, how you bind it off, or if you're doing top down, however you cast it on.
Yeah.
So,
yes, they were called the skimmer socks.
Skimmer socks, okay.
Thanks, Hilda.
Although I don't want to do all the work of making those and have socks that nobody sees any of.
I know, right?
So,
yeah.
Okay, and then the other question was, we had talked a little bit about rowing out last week.
Yes.
And someone suggested if you did Eastern pearls,
I did see that
that it might help that situation. Now, I don't know a lot about it. I do believe that the Eastern pearls is where the mount of your stitch is different to North American. So you're kind of approaching the stitch in a different direction. You're going in through the back as opposed to the front because the stitch is mounted differently.
Is it oriented differently on the needle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, but that might be something, if you are having trouble with rowing out, that you might want to go and look at a tutorial on that and try it and see if it helps.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I did have another question about, someone had said last week I had shown my pyramid tee that I finished, and someone was doing the pyramid light and was having trouble with the increases that are along the sides. Okay, mine is different because I altered the pattern. So the increases that the pattern uses, I did not use because I kept my panel in the middle in stocking stitch as opposed to reverse stocking stitch. So I believe that they were doing increases that you were doing while you were purling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because I switched mine, and mine was the stocking stitch in the middle, I just did like a make one left and a make one right on the corresponding sides of and it worked out fine. But I believe there's tutorials. I can't speak to it. I don't know if anybody else has done it and had any luck with getting those right, but because I didn't do mine that way, I'm not sure whether a knit one, I'm not sure whether an increase left and right would work with your, but I mean, there's a purl instead, because they were purling front and back of the stitch. There is a purl like increase left and a purl increase right.
Yes, because I
don't know.
Just finished a sweater that used it. Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know whether if you tried that it might help. That's just a suggestion. I mean, it's worth trying it to see if it's any better than the ones that are included in the pattern.
Okay.
So, okay. And that was it for questions.
Okay.
So, okay.
An announcement that we need to make though, before we move on to something.
Oh, yes.
Is that next week, and I don't have the date in front of me. So what's the date today?
Today's the 2nd.
So next year will be next week.
Year.
Next week. I will be traveling again within my traveling on Tuesday, and I will be on a plane that day. So I will not be able to be here on Tuesday. So we're actually going to have Knit Chat next week on Monday. So that will be July the 8th, which is a Monday, same time.
Okay.
And for those of you that can't join us on Monday, you can just tune in on Tuesday at your regular time, and then you'll still be able to watch the show that we do on Monday.
It'll still be there. That's right.
So it will still be there. And for those of you that are flexible, hopefully you can join us on Monday. And I'll be in BC, so it will be a different time zone for me, but the same. It will still be 7:00 Eastern Standard Time here. And so there's that. So next week, Knit Chat is on Monday. And I will post a reminder in YouTube as well as on my Instagram.
Okay. So maybe we have some prizes to give away.
We do have some prizes. Okay. So first, before we do the prizes, let's do this because we'll forget about this later. But
Okay.
we are, so I'll bring this up. This is our Makealong slide that
Okay.
we're working on. So we're going to do the prizes tonight for the June sock along.
Mhm.
And then we're also going to do the prizes for the second quarter Advent along that's on the
Yep.
slide. And we're also going to do the prize for the Smash That Stash, which ended on June 30th. And our new one will start as of July 1st. And Noelle, do you want to tell them what they have to do for this one?
Okay. So what we want you to do is try a new designer. So by a new designer, we mean a new designer to you.
Yeah.
So a pattern that is by a designer that you have never knit any of their patterns previously. So that could be a very popular designer. You know, you may not have knit anything by Hoagie. You may not have knit anything by Caitlin Hunter. Or it might be like someone that's relatively new and you just want to try out their patterns. So it just has to be a new designer to you to kind of get us, you know, out of the box, because sometimes we get comfortable with the designers that we really like and tend to not try other designers. So this is a way that you can look and say, okay, I've always wanted to try one of their patterns. Maybe this is the time to do it. So in this, you can knit shawls, scarves, accessories, any accessories or any sweaters. We're not including socks in this because we have our regular sock along. So, but any of the others. So, and yeah, we just want you to try somebody that's new to you. So, and you've got 3 months, so you've got lots of time to
knit
you've got
something.
lots of time to try
Make
out several
something.
different designers. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you can enter as many new designers as you make. And it can, did you say it can be knitting, can be crochet?
Yep. I didn't say crochet, but it can be knitting or crochet. Yeah, just someone that is new to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So prizes. All right. We'll start with the socks. Okay. So every month we draw for a sock winner, and that goes all the way back to January 1st. And we draw 2 prizes. We draw for a pattern, and then we draw for some sock yarn. So I'll show you the first winner, which is for the pattern. And we have 2,168 pairs of socks in there as of the end of June. And the winner for the pattern is Kathy, who is Gold West on Ravelry. And the random number generator chose number 1351. And these are Kathy's socks, stripy and very, very cool.
Yep.
I like those socks.
Yep.
So we'll go through all of the prizes and then we'll let you know
okay.
how to get in touch. And then we have a yarn prize. And this month's yarn prize is generously donated by Julien Yarns. Chantal Denis donate. I know I don't want to give this one away. It's so beautiful.
It's so pretty.
So pretty. This colorway is called Summer Crush. So it's perfect for the summer sock. Oh, look at the golds in there. It's like
gorgeous.
It's like they took your colors and my colors and put it together. It's just beautiful.
Kelly, we should get some and make ourselves matching socks with that.
I think we should. We might have to reach out to Chantal. She makes beautiful, beautiful yarn. So I got to visit with Chantal when we were at the Kawartha Yarn Festival, and she said, yeah, choose 2. So Julia was with me. I chose this one, and Julia chose another color. And when that one rolls out as a prize, you'll definitely see Julia's influence in that color. But this is absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful blend. It's a 75-25 merino and nylon, and it's so, so soft. Okay. Thank you, Chantal. And the winner for that is Marsha, who is MT Parker on Ravelry. And it was number 1197. I really like the colors of her socks too. Really super cozy. It looks like maybe they're a DK weight. They're a little thicker. So,
well, they look nice and cozy.
They do. They look very cozy.
Yes.
Okay. So then the next prizes that we had, get that one out of the way, was for the Advent Along. And the Advent Along is where we're trying to get you to take some pressure off in December. So you work on a project, kind of dole it out into a month's worth of work so that you have something finished in December to either keep for yourself or gift away. And the winner. So what we're doing is the finished thread will not open until December, and we will draw a prize at that time. But we've been drawing from the chatter each quarter a prize, and the prize for that, just reach underneath here. It's big, so I had it buried. Is a beautiful sunny sandy bag.
Oh, that's pretty.
Perfect for summer.
Perfect for summer. Yep.
The back is a beautiful sunny paisley. The bottom is it's like a vinyl, so you can set it down when you go to the park. It's easy to wipe up. Her bags are so very roomy. She's got zippered pockets inside. There's a zipper. Sorry, not a zippered pocket. No, but a patch pocket at the front to keep your keys in, or a water bottle. Anyway, everything fits. It's a huge bag. And I really like this one for summer. I think this is a great color. Okay. And the winner for that is Jermaine, who is Mommy G Knits Socks on Ravelry. And she is number 502, and she's making a cowl. And I noticed it's very pretty. So however, she's designing this over 12 months. But then right below this post, I also noticed that she had she's doing Advent socks as well in the same colors. So I think she's going to look really smart if this is her outfit, or maybe she's giving it away. But if it's going to the same person, somebody's going to get a cowl and some matching socks, and they really, really look beautiful. So great job. Yeah. Okay. And then the last one is Smash That Stash. And this is a 2-part prize. I'll show this one, and then you can talk about the second part. Okay. First part is a beautiful bag, and this is a big bag too, friends. And it's like it's got something in here, like a padding, like a quilted padding. So it's nice and sturdy. And this is generously donated by You Got a Bag, who is Tish. And just a moment, I had her business card. Okay, I'll hold this one up. This is Tish's business card. She is on Etsy. You Got a Bag. This is a beautiful bag too. It really is beautiful. I love this little handle. I was just telling somebody, I had watched a podcast this week, and they were packing a travel bag to go traveling. And they were talking, it was Jen, Pairs Well with Knitting. Is it Jen? Jennifer. Yep. Yes. Yep. So, and one of the things that I take with me, I have an item that's just like this. So this comes off. You can use this. And I have one of these that I carry with me on the plane, because this will attach to any project bag that I have. And usually what I can do is I can find something to hook this through or thread it through on the plane so that it's hanging. So I always make sure that I have one of these in my backpack when I'm traveling, just these little handles. So they're super slick. Okay, so there's the bag, and then there's also a pattern bundle. Noelle?
Yes, okay. So this was Brenda Brayfield reached out, and she would like to donate a prize for our Smash That Stash. So she has a set of patterns called 4 of a Kind, but I believe there's actually 6 patterns in it that make these little kind of shawl scarves. And I'm making one right at the moment. It's a fun knit. It's a good knit to take with you because the pattern's like pretty easy and pretty memorizable. Now I'm only doing the one, but it's good knitting to take when you're going to the coffee shop or if you're on a chat with someone. So she donated, and there you can see the different ones hanging up. And then the one up in that top corner there, she also includes a pattern for that little ring that you can kind of put on the ends of your scarf to hold it together. So she's generously donated that prize package to go with the bag, and that's what our winner will get. And thank you to Brenda, and thank you to Tish from You Make a Bag for donating the prizes to us.
Okay, and the winner is, just get back to the right page. Smash That Stash. Okay, here we go. The winner is DK415. I clicked through to her profile. There wasn't an actual name. It was just the DK415, but she was number 458. And I don't know what that sweater is that she's wearing either, but I really like that sweater.
It is pretty.
So well done to get a sweater quantity out of your stash. Well done.
Yep. Yes, so
Okay.
congratulations to all of our winners. And so you can reach out to us at our Gmail, which is knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. So if you want a physical prize, we will need your full name and your mailing address. And for the pattern winner, just give us the information and we will give you the information that you need in order to get your pattern prize. So congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you to everybody for participating, because it's so much fun to see all of the finished projects, you know, to get inspired to do some knitting and get things out of our stash and to keep our sock mojo going.
Yeah. And actually the Smash That Stash really got me digging around in there too. I have cleaned out a few skeins of sock yarn. I dug deep and I got some Bell out of my stash to make my Tolsta. So yeah, I was doing the same thing. I was in, oh, and even, no, that wasn't stash. Sorry. Never mind. Forget what I said. But anyway, it was fun to dig around in there. And honestly, I have said this before, but when I get digging around in my stash, I find things I forgot I had. And then I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
I know. And to be fair, we've also added to our stash.
Yes, we have. Somebody did make a comment this week too, about how sometimes we show projects that we make and it's with discontinued yarn. Well, that is, unfortunately, that is part and parcel of having a larger stash. Some of the things we have stashed so long that they no longer are in stock with that yarn. But something that we do try to do is to find, if it's something that we've made that we really like and we know that you can't get the yarn anymore, we do try to come up with some ideas of a suitable yarn so that it's not going to leave you hanging, that you could go off and do something. You might have that other yarn in your stash, or either we try to find something, or a couple of times some of the people that are in here, the knit chatters, have helped us out too. So that's great. Yeah.
And I mean, most of the time, I would say the majority of the time, most of the patterns we knit, we do not use whatever the recommended yarn was in the pattern. We usually always use, maybe occasionally, but most of the time we use probably something different. And, you know, Ravelry is a great resource to look for that, because if you go into a particular pattern, you can actually look at the top and see all the different yarns that somebody has made a particular project in. So it'll give you a good idea of what that particular pattern will look like in that yarn.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
So we should move on to maybe what we're wearing.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Sure. I am wearing the Cravat. This is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. This is done in Nurturing Fibers. It's a merino yarn. It is, I would say, a sport weight yarn. The colors are aged leather and cherry blossom. So I think in the aged leather, I used maybe 1.5 skeins. And then in the cherry blossom, I used, I think, less than half a skein. I think I honestly can't remember whether this yarn has any nylon in it or not. I'm going to have to go back and check that, because I would have enough probably to do a little pair of shorty socks if it does have nylon in it. So, and I do have a picture. Just got to find it. You'd think it'd be organized, but no. Not. There we go. So there you can see the full tee. So it is not really cropped, because it does come to my hip bone. The pattern, I do remember doing this, and my row gauge was shorter. I actually had to put a full repeat of the design into the bottom half of the sweater before I did the rib. Now, when you look at Caitlin Hunter's picture, she does do a lot of her sweaters quite cropped. And I like to be able to wear mine like with shorts or a jeans or something. So I do like mine to come, like, it's still short, but I do like it to come to my hip bone. So I did have to add an extra repeat of the pattern in there. It was a really fun pattern to knit. Like, it kept you engaged the whole time, because you have some color work and texture up here. And then in the body of the sweater, you've got the lace work and there's baubles in it. And yeah, I really did enjoy knitting that. And of course, I'm going to say, I'd like to do another one, but who knows if I'll ever get to that. There's just so many nice patterns
but I really did love knitting that sweater as well. That was right up there on par with Caitlin's Miserina sweater that we both made, and we both loved making that one too. And I really did like making the Cravat. And I did
I mean,
make
you
mine.
could even make one in a wintry, a more wintry yarn and make it long sleeve too.
You could. I know my
So,
West Coast friends are going to Flock in August,
mhm.
and they were all making the cravat as their group sweater. And that's what I said to them. I said, well, I said, maybe I could go to Flock. I said, I already have the sweater. I would be good to go. But no, I'm going to be just missing that by a little bit. So anyway. Okay. Oh,
Oh,
and yep,
Sweater
go
Weather
ahead.
says she thought that the pink sections were my skin. I wish my skin looked as good. So, because originally and right now there is in the lace section, there is like eyelets in it. So I
Mhm.
originally had this on and I had kind of like a fuchsia pink lacy bra on underneath it, and you could see all the really hot pink poking through it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really sure that's the look.
Yeah,
So I just actually
there will be no bra flashing this week. Just heads up on that. There will be none
no,
of that.
so I just have like a nice like neutrally colored bra underneath that kind of just blends in with everything.
Yeah.
So
Colette is asking if you could make it A-line.
I think you probably could, because all you would do is like you've got a little bit of space in between the repeats of the lace pattern. So you could just make that particular little panel kind of flare out, and it would
Yes.
just be like a nice little inset detail to the pattern. So yeah, I do think that you could do that.
And you wouldn't even just have to do it on the sides. You could,
No, you
for
could do it
instance,
all around.
you could
Yeah.
start going around and then you would get that nice little curve. And you wouldn't notice it if you just went like a stitch in between each of those
Mhm.
repeats, each time you did a repeat. And that would give you, what have you got? 1, 2, 3, 4. That would give you about a 10 stitch increase for each one of those patterns.
Yeah.
So yeah, you
Yep.
definitely could.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. And I
Oh,
am wearing,
Haley said she can't knit or crochet today because she got an injection in her shoulder. Oh, Haley, I hope it gets better soon.
oh, yeah, that's
Those are
not fun.
my worst nightmares, is injuring myself enough that I couldn't knit. That would be bad.
That's everybody's worst nightmare. That you have to be sitting somewhere and not able to knit. That's everybody's worst
Yeah.
nightmare.
If they were with me and I couldn't knit.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That is everybody's worst nightmare, that they would
Well,
have to be with you and you couldn't knit.
it's
Yeah.
definitely Ross's. Ross is in a car. Worst case scenario ever. So
Okay.
okay.
I am wearing the Quill Tee by Tiff Nealon, and I do have a banner, and I did bring in some pictures. Whoops, wrong spot. There we go. So this is a sweater that I knit using Remix Light that I bought at Little Red Mitten, and it's very cost-effective yarn. I love this yarn. This is the softest sweater, and you can see it is quite cropped. I like to wear it with I have a denim dress. I'm not going to pull up the sweater this week, Haley, and show you the dress, but this dress is completely fine. Anyway, I'm still not going to do it. So I like to use my dresses like skirts. A lot of people say, oh, they could, it would look great with a skirt. But because I like my sweaters to be quite cropped, I'm always nervous. It's the
Well,
same
then you don't
thing.
have to
Like,
worry about the putting your arms
yeah,
up,
yeah.
or yeah.
So if you have these dresses that are, because this one is just a spaghetti strap denim dress. So it's really just like wearing a slip, and then you throw the sweater over top and you can do whatever you want to
Yeah.
do and you're still going to be covered. So I really like
Yeah.
that. This is a really yarn effective pattern too. In fact, I only used, the skeins are 100-gram skeins. I used 1.3 skeins of this apricot color,
It's
and I
pretty.
used only 0.13 skeins of this navy
Of the
blue.
navy? Oh, wow. You
Of
could
the
do almost
navy.
a
It's
whole
just,
other sweater.
right? I know. I have a lot of remix left over, but that's okay. I don't mind, because it was really fun to do the color work in this as well. The It's supposed to
Those
be
two
a
colors look
DK.
really good together too.
Thank you. I do really like that.
So
But it's supposed to be a DK. Do you find it's a little bit on the light
I think
side for
it's
a
a little
DK?
lighter.
A
Yeah.
little lighter.
Yep.
But I was okay to do that. And actually, I don't remember if I changed needle sizes. I think I did. I think I had to go down needle sizes because I did. Sorry. Okay. So I'm looking at my Ravelry page now and I did adjust. So I dropped down for the ribbing and then I used 3.5 for the body of the sweater. Although she does suggest that you go up a needle size. So I went up to a 3.75 millimeter to do the color work. I don't think I necessarily would have had to, but honestly, like it's exactly the same. And I do not think, I'm trying to remember, did I even block this sweater? I've only worn it a couple
I
of
know
times.
I haven't blocked this one.
Yeah.
I know
And
I haven't.
I don't think I did. Remix is one of those, it creates this fabric that doesn't change a lot with blocking. And it's kind of it's a very subtle tweed and it's got a little bit of that kind of nubby feel.
Yeah.
There's no wool in Remix, right? Right?
No, there's not.
There's no wool.
No.
There's a blend of things. There's cotton. Is there silk? It feels like there's silk in
There's
it.
silk. I think there's a little bit of linen.
There's a tiny bit of mohair even, I think. Is there not?
I can't remember. But I know that I was talking to Jillian at Little Red Mitten and because I had my Remix tee that I made the pyramid and wearing it, she said like she has blocked things that she's made in it and washed them over and over. And she said it just gets softer and softer the more that you wash it.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, yeah.
So I've just pulled it up on Ravelry and yes, so it's 30% nylon, 27% cotton, 24% acrylic. So there's even an acrylic content in there, 10% silk, and then 9% linen flax. But honestly, it's the softest yarn. I really love
like
this yarn.
Like a cotton sweatshirt.
Yeah, it does. It's like super, super soft. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. I like that pattern.
And it was fast.
The list of things that I want to make is just
I know.
But I haven't knit anything by Tiff Nealon, so that could be.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
Okay, so.
Oh, Marlon says that it's on her needles now, the quill. Yay. It's a good sweater. It's a really good sweater. And I did I did this too. There, you're going to get the dress anyway. But it has a little peak, or I'll show you the right side, not the inside. It has a little picot, which is hard to see against the blue. There we go. So it has this little picot edge, and I did that too. So that also avoids you having to do like a cast off because you knit this little picot off. So it was kind of fun. It was different. It was just fun and different. Okay.
Okay. So do you have any finishes?
I have one finish. How many do you have?
3.
You get to start.
Okay. Well, my first one is when I was at Little Red Mitten, Jillian showed me this little, let me just find a picture of it here.
Oh, I think I know where this is headed.
You know what it is?
I saw Jillian's. It's so stinking cute.
This. Okay, so this is a little granny square chicken. And this is a pattern by, let me just find it. Okay, by Sweet Softies. So there is a version of the pattern that you can go into her blog, and the pattern tells you how to put together the granny squares, and then there's another link that actually tells you how to make the granny squares. But you can also, if you don't want to do all that, it's not very expensive. You can buy the PDF of the pattern that's got none of the extra stuff in it, just the information that you need. Mm-hmm. So this is the granny square chicken by Sweet Softies. So I just thought, I saw Jillian's and I thought this thing is just so darn cute. I just have to make one.
And you said you would never make the chicken.
I said I would never make that big emotional sport chicken because that would take too long. But here is my little chicken. So this is so the actual original pattern is worsted weight yarn with a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook. I don't have a whole lot of worsted weight yarn. So this is fingering weight yarn, and it is all of my, I have a bag of my scraps and different colors, and it was so much fun. And so I ordered
Did you do a smaller needle.
Safety eyes. I did a 2.5. So it would have been nicer to be even a little bit smaller needle or a little bit thicker yarn, because there's some of the places like the little parts in the granny square that are here where you kind of had like a little shell stitch. Like I kind of had to go and sew over those to keep them closed. So like maybe if you had a DK weight yarn, or I didn't really want to hold 2 fingering weights together because that would be just too much work, but they were just so cute. And then it's just done in the granny squares. You sew them together and then you put on this little little
Comb.
crown and the little beak, and it's even got this little tail at the end of it. So
Lindsay says her dog is barking at your chicken. What's
I
it
know
do
I
again?
can just see when I let the kids play with them, it'll be so cute.
Irene, I like that. Irene says, look at this. This is so cute. She says, a little chicken for little problems.
There you go. And it has a buddy.
And a buddy.
So
Aw.
this is, and I really like this one. I use the different colors all in the granny square. Like there's 4 different colors in the granny square.
Very
This one
cute.
I thought, okay, I want less ends to sew in. So I just did the 2. So this was the first one I did. But then I thought, okay, I want to try one in different colors. And they're just so much fun. It's hard to.
Very cute.
Yeah.
I made something similar to that years ago for Kendall. It was a little owl.
Mm-hmm.
And I attached a key ring for her keychain. I think she still has it. And it's very similar. It was a little round granny circles to make the owl.
Yeah. So I might have to make like another 5. Because you can't just make one for one grandchild. You got to make 4. And I know the girls like them for sure. I'm a little bit worried, even though these are safety eyes, I'm a little bit worried for the really little ones, right? Like the 3 older girls will be fine with these, but it worries me a little with the safety eyes, because I think because the fabric's not super tight, you could pull the whole thing right out if you really wanted to.
You could just get a little piece of black felt, a little black felt circle, and stitch it on.
Yeah.
Instead of the safety eye.
For that. Yeah. But anyways, they're adorable and way faster than the big emotional support chicken. But I really do like them. I sometimes say I'm never going to knit these things, and then I see something and it's like, oh, I have to make that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they could be. Deb says worry chickens for your pocket. There you go.
That's right. You could just stick them in your knitting bag. Just take them out and do this when you need a little bit of. And it's kind of fun.
That would be cute to put on a ring, because then you could hook it onto your knitting bag. Well,
Jillian said she's going to do them like even smaller. She's going to make earrings out of them.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not
Jillian and her earrings. She has the best earring collection.
I'm not going to do earrings, but I did think they were cute. And it's a great way to use up little tiny bits of scrap, right? Because like even this little color, like in the middle, like basically, like a yard or so of yarn. So it's a really good way to use up your little scraps of yarn. So
you could use crochet cotton and the tiny hooks. I actually used to do that.
Think that the worst that they called for, I do believe, was a cotton.
Yeah, but I mean, you could use that really fine, mercerized cotton that I used to make doilies out of when I was younger. And then you could do some really small ones, and Jillian could definitely get her earrings out of that.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay.
So that was 2 FOs.
That was 2 FOs.
Well, it was 2 chickens.
Okay. I'm not feeling so bad about my 1 FO this week then. I was so close to having 2. I thought I was going to have 2. Well, not a big deal. Okay. So I finished my socks by Nancy Wheeler, and there are 2 of them. So I put them outside to block, and they are, I'll grab a banner way back there. They are called the Big Smoke Socks by Nancy Wheeler, who is Knit Sip Happy on the YouTubes, and I really love them. I used the Ginger Snap Lush Fingering in the colorway Awaken. And it is just a very delicate fleck. And now that they're done, I'm so excited, because I have to say, as much as I love them, knitting with a neutral does not spark great joy, because, it feels like you're doing the same thing for a longer time. But look at how pretty they look, even off the blocker. And they have this, a little bit of a detail down the back of them. And then this very lovely repeating pattern down the front. And I think, and it has the heel flap and gusset with the garter tab trim. And I just know that these are going to be on a high repeat, because every single time I go to get ready, sometimes I'm like, oh, if only I just had a neutral gray pair of socks, right? And these are everything. And I love these. And they actually have little purple flecks in them too, but anyway, they're very, very nice.
Very pretty.
I love Nancy's patterns. Her patterns are always just interesting enough to not be stockinette plain, but not so hard that you can't learn the pattern. Although with this one, I never did learn the pattern, which is why I think they didn't get done, because you see how this is just a little bit of an offset. I never did figure out how much offset. So every time I finished, I could do like the whole pattern repeat, but then I'd have to look at my pattern to see where to offset the next ones at, because I just couldn't memorize that. But anyway, it's really just a fun pattern. And the big smoke refers to, it's a nickname for Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I know I need to knit some neutrally colored socks, but
they're not fun. They are challenging. And then when I brought them on here last week, I think I still had like most of the foot to do as of last week. And somebody said, just do a little bit on them every day. And you know what? That's what I did. I did a little, I did a repeat on them every day. That was my first thing in the morning knitting. And then in no time they were finished. And I just needed to put a little bit of effort into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm just going to grab these. Deborah asked about my mini support chickens, which are on the raft.
You're going to need a bigger raft.
So these are the little mini support chickens. And this, I believe this, I can't remember if it was free or not, but I will link this pattern in the notes too. And you know what? These are knit, and they've got little knit things. These took as long to make.
Probably,
as the bigger. Yeah. Yes, these took as long to make as one of these.
So, hold those up again. You could wear those on your ears.
Yes,
for sure you could.
You could, for sure, yeah.
You should make Jillian a pair.
I should. But that's a lot of time. But I might.
She's worth it.
I'll see. She is worth it.
Because they'd go really cool with her chicken socks.
Its crown pulled off because little hands have been playing with them. So yes, I will link that. I will link that pattern too. So okay, so my next FO is my Riptide halter. Yes. So it's the Riptide halter by Jennifer Shields Toland. And here it is. And
looks so good.
I love it. I might have to make another one. Every time I say that, I'm like, oh yeah, I say that. So I do have some pictures. So this is done in Kelborn Woolens Mojave. This color is called Plum Brown. And it took, I think, about less than 3 skeins, and they're 50-gram skeins. Mm-hmm. I really like the fit of it. Like the armhole depth is perfect. So it is important when you do this that your row gauge is on track as well. And then the bottom goes into the broken rib that's carried up the sides of the pullover. So you can see that. Oh, I don't know if I thought I had a picture of the side. Anyway, it's all over the Riptide pattern in the front and the back. And then down the side, you get the broken rib. Nice. And that broken rib carries down into the rib pattern at the bottom, the broken rib pattern at the bottom. And then I did the alternating cable cast off that we've talked about for the bottom, and I'm super happy with it. Yeah, I really, I was a little bit worried at first that I thought it would be like too bare, but I feel like if you've got the proper bra, and the bra that I have is, it's a Knix bra, but it's kind of like a racer back. Mm-hmm. So because it comes right up like this, it kind of falls right in line with the shape of the top.
It looks really good.
Yeah. So and I mean, we love knitting this stitch pattern. It's just,
we do. So we really do.
It is. And so this one's kind of different from the others in the fact that the others just kind of carry a small panel down the front of the Riptide stitch. And then they've got stocking stitch and the same detail under the arms, but this takes your pattern right across, which is really nice for a top like this because it kind of gives you the, it's not tight, but you get that more of a fitted look for a summer top. So yeah. And I really, this yarn is 60% cotton, 40% linen. I didn't have a problem working with it. I really liked the feel of it. And I really liked the feel of it knitting with it too. So
it looks really different, the color on camera to the pictures. Cause it looks almost more, it's more lavender in your pictures. It's really beautiful. It looks almost like a brown on camera.
No, it is more the pictures it is more, you really get the purple when you see it in person.
It's so pretty.
And Jennifer's patterns are all like when she does the finishing detail. So like your armbands, the way that they finish off are done in conjunction with doing the armband. So you have nothing left to go and pick up after. Now this one did start a little bit differently, where you did the way the neck shaped, you did your neck first, and then you went back and you picked up stitches for the neck band.
Okay.
And there is a choice in the pattern between doing a neckband that's tighter or a neckband that's a little bit looser. So I did somewhere in between. I didn't do the tight, didn't do the loose. I did somewhere in between. So yeah, so
good.
that one is finished. And that was stash yarn. So that was yarn that we got last year, or I got last year at Elgin Knitworks when we were there.
That's right. That's right.
So,
where we will be again soon.
mhm.
Soon. So the mini meetup is coming again to Hoffman Estates. Do you have the date?
I think it's the 26th.
I was going to say the 25th, 26th. It's that weekend anyway. It's a lot of fun. We just get together. There's a group of people that get together. We take over the hotel and we knit. That's what we do. And we do a little shopping because we did scoot out to Elgin Knitworks, which is a very cute store. We've made some purchases there. We do a lot of laughing. We have some good food.
Yep.
It's a lovely event. This year, PJ Knits, Penny, is hosting it and partnering up with Kendra. And together they are hosting. And if you have the ability to attend or check it out, even if you can come one day or both days, it's well worth it. It's just an amazing time. You can look it up on Ravelry under PJ Knits. Is that right? Yes.
Yeah, I've actually got it linked in the show notes.
Do you have it linked? Okay, perfect. You can find the link in our show notes then. So you've still got time to get in on that for sure. And Irene's helping us out. Thank you, Irene. It's the 26th and 27th. Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely it's a lot of fun. Oh, Sheila's going to be there. Yes, we will definitely see you. Yes, for sure.
Okay.
What weight does the pattern call for?
It's a DK.
A DK. Okay.
And I believe that the Mojave is a sport, but I got the gauge that I needed, but I did go up a size in the pattern. So.
Oh, and Susan is in here for the first time from Colorado. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan. Welcome.
Welcome. Don't be shy. Get on that keyboard, chat. There's lots of people in here to chat with. That's for sure.
Okay. So, Kelly, do you have any whips?
Oh, yeah, I have whips.
How many whips do you have?
1, 2, 3.
I have 6.
I have more than 3, obviously, because
I have
you
6 that I'm
reminded
working
me
on.
of them. I had 3 that I put hands on this week. Well, I have others too, but not enough progress to show. So yeah. Okay, you get to start again.
Okay. I am still working on and we talked about this pattern bundle. So this was, and it's caught on my other whips, just a minute. This is by Brenda Brayfield. So this is one of the patterns that are in that bundle. This particular one is called Be Kind. They're all like 4 of a kind. So it's a different, I think each one is like a different pattern with kind in it. So let me just, here we go. So the whole pattern bundle is called 4 of a kind. This particular pattern that's got the row of the garters about every inch is called Be Kind. So I am doing it in Full Moon Fibers. This is their solar sock. This color is called Night Swim. So you can just see the little tiny pops of color every once in a while. So there's what the yarn looks like. It's a navy blue base and it's got little pops of like purple and blue and pink, and it's just really pretty. So I'm almost actually at the biggest part of I think you have to go, the pattern calls to go to 55 stitches. I think I'm at 48. So I'm almost at the halfway point. So this is, I took this, Kelly and I went out for coffee and some breakfast, and I took this, and it was super easy to knit on while you're talking.
Yes.
So it was perfect project for that. It's got a really nice, the way she does the edge on it. So you've got a really nice finished edge on each side. So yeah. So, I mean, I could knit it faster, but I'm kind of saving it for my knitting that I take somewhere when I need something that I don't really have to think too much about and that I can remember the pattern. So, but definitely Brenda's got some nice patterns. Check them out. And yeah, I know she's got some other patterns that I think that I would like to get on my needles too. So Anyway.
That's what I have been saving my, I can't think of the name of it, but the one that I'm making in the Mayak, that little,
Oh,
the
yes, yes,
striped,
yes.
I'm
Yes.
saving, I keep that kind of near the front door. So anytime I'm just hopping out in the car where I know I'm going to have a few minutes, that's the project that goes with me because I don't need a pattern for it. It's something I can memorize. And I did put about 2 inches on it this week,
Mhm.
but again, I mean, it hasn't changed really enough to show it. It still looks pretty much the same. And I will just keep knitting on that until I get it finished. So the, oh, how many did you have?
6.
Oh, do
Yeah.
another one then.
Okay. Okay. So I had 4 or 5 days between when I finished my my Galadriel socks, and I didn't want to start the new Lord of the Ring ones until July 1st. So I had 4 or 5 days in there. I had to cast on another pair of socks. I couldn't stand not having socks on the needle. So I casted on the heel toe do-si-do
I
by
love that
Crazy Sock
pattern.
Lady. I really like this pattern too. So
Yes.
there's kind of a picture of hers, and this is heel toe do-si-do by Crazy Sock Lady Designs. It's a great pattern for self-striping or self-patterning yarn because it kind of breaks it up into that nice little wave pattern.
Yes.
So this is what I am doing it in. So
that's pretty.
this is the Lane Paint sock. Lane de Nord.
Lane de Nord.
Yes,
I have
paint
some of that.
sock. Yeah, it is. It's really pretty.
So pretty.
So this is I can't remember the colorway, but I'll be linked to my pattern page. And I think it was just a number anyways. I don't think it was a color. So here's what the ball looks like and comes through. So I have not even gotten through the color repeat yet.
No, nowhere near it.
So I think like it's going to go from this purpley color that I'm in right now, and then it goes to like an orangey coral color, and then it finally comes back to this green that's up at the top. So I'm barely going to get in the whole pattern repeat of color in one.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully you'll get to the right point that you can start your next one and not have to wind any off or not too much off.
Yeah. So I once I got past the length of the sock, I've got an extra needle that's got a really fine cord on it. So I do mark where I'm putting my heel.
Yeah.
So instead of putting in the little pieces of yarn for the marker, I just slipped the needles in. And then when I got so far, I went back and I did the heel so that it's all done. So this is just a forethought after heel. You think about where you're going to put it, but you're basically doing it after.
Yes.
So it's not really afterthought because you think about it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then I knit 5 rows of plain stockinette stitch before I started into the decrease. And on this one, and I do really like it, on this one, I did a double centered decrease on each side of the sock.
Yeah.
Just so you just get that one. Yeah. You just get that one straight line going down the heel of the sock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this pattern again, this actually I could knit at a coffee shop too, because the pattern itself is only a 2-row repeat. The back of your sock is all stocking stitch. So it's a pretty easy pattern to remember and do at the coffee shop. But I just couldn't stand not having socks on the needle.
Can you go back in and slowly talk about how you put the cord in for your heel again?
Okay. So when I get to the point, when Kelly and I, when we get to the point where we want our heel to go, instead of waiting till the end and just putting a pin, oftentimes once we've done the row that's going to be the start of that heel, we'll go in and we'll thread through a piece of scrap yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have another plain row of knitting, which is the row that you're going to cut. And then on the next row, you put in another piece of scrap yarn to mark where that heel is going to go. So instead of using the scrap yarn, all I did was thread in a needle, like another knitting needle. I've got the Chai-Gu needle that's got the mini cord, which is a really fine, tiny, a really fine cord on it. So I thread that through, and then my needle's in place to do the heel before I'm even done the sock. So I just do a little bit more of the foot of the sock just to give me some
support,
something to grab onto or hold onto. And then I go back, cut my one stitch, unravel the rest of it, and put my heel in right at that point. And then when I'm done the sock, I'm done the sock, which I really like.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to be done and not have to go back.
So to kind of back that up a little bit, Noelle and I both went through a phase. Well, she got me started on it. She taught me how to do the forethought, afterthought heel, where we figured that out ahead of time. And I went on such a tangent with it, and she was kind of on a tangent, and we pretty much did that for all of our socks. But lately we've been kind of getting back into the heel flap and gusset.
Yeah.
The fun part of the heel flap and gusset is you do this as you're knitting the sock. And then by the time you're down at the toe and you're done, you're completely done. You're just done.
Yeah.
Whereas with that afterthought heel, we were always going back in to do, now I've finished the toe and basically I've got to go back in and do a heel, which is exactly like repeating the toe, basically.
Right.
So Noelle came up with this idea of, why are we putting waist yarn in? Let's put in this thin cord, and then we can kind of do the heel and then finish the sock so that when you're done, you're done. But
yeah. And like the reason, like, I mean, I do like the heel flap and the gusset, but in a yarn like this, I really like not to break up the stripe pattern.
Yes.
So that's the reason for doing the afterthought heel, right? So, and you could put in a short row heel there if you wanted to, but I would still probably put it in a different color, just not to break up the stripe sequence.
Right.
And a heel flap and gusset probably breaks up your stripe sequence more than if you did an short row heel.
Yes, for sure it does.
Yeah. So that's just, and I forgot to say too, this yarn is some of my precious remaining Woolies sock yarn in the marshmallow. Yes, I had one skein left. So
mine is getting so small.
Yeah. And it matched that perfectly. So it was the perfect yarn to put in there.
I did buy, I bought this a couple of years ago from Ravenswood Fiber. She was selling off some skeins and she called them Naked.
Oh, Naked. Okay.
And I bought 3 of them. And it's almost identical in color to the marshmallow from that. So I've still got a hoarded precious stash. But okay. So my first whip should have been an FO. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I don't know. I so thought I would have this done. So you won't see this again until it's on me. But this is my Tolsta. This is the front. Turn this around. All I have left to do, friends, is 1 repeat and then the waist. That's how close I got.
I love it.
I love it too. I tried it on.
That color looks darker there than in person.
I'm not sure if it does.
On my screen, it does. Maybe that's just my screen from when I saw it when you had it at the coffee shop.
Okay, fair enough. But when I tried it on today, like it's as dark a purple as a navy is a blue. Like, let's talk about it that way. So I tried this on today. Now this one I am making not a crop length because I think this looks more like a sweater that I would wear with jeans than one of my dresses. So I'm definitely making this one long enough to wear with jeans. So it's got to go probably like 12, 13 inches. And I tried it on today. It looks so good. And I just thought if I didn't have time today to work on it at all, but I could have had it done. But like, look at that. It's such a gorgeous sweater. So the Tolsta tee, I don't even know how much I need to talk about it because I think every single person in here knows what the Tolsta tee is. It's by Rebecca Clow, who is Creabea. And I'm doing the version where I've just added in some eyelet rows.
Yeah,
and
I like
it was
I want to do an eyelet one too.
Easy to do. And I'm using Drops Bell. And this color is, no longer available. I've had this in stash, I think, since 2021. And the color, I don't know. I think just every few years, they kind of switch up their colors. I don't know.
I think that they have a lot less colors now in the Bell than what they used to.
Or is it just that Wool Warehouse doesn't have all the colors? I don't know.
Maybe that could be.
But this is where I bought it from.
Looking at it, I thought that there seemed to be less colors, but you're right. That could be just what they carry.
But this is going to feel like that summer sweatshirt. It just, I put it on today and I'm like, I love it because I hadn't tried it on since it was like just below the arm split, right? Just to make sure I was on track. And then I tried it on today and it's like right at the top of my waistband of my jeans. So I do want to do that one more repeat and then a couple inches of the twisted rib, but I am loving it. Loving it. I know this is going to be well worn. Well worn. Okay. What else do you have?
I started my Lord of the Rings next pair.
There you go.
So on July 1st, I started my next pair, and these are the Pippin socks by Claire Ellen. And these, there's the picture. So they've kind of got like it almost looks like a DNA helical sequence.
It does, yeah.
It does, yeah. So they've kind of got that going down the front, and then there's a 6-stitch cable that goes down the front, and then she's also got like a wishbone cable that goes up the side of the leg. So I've just got it started. So I didn't know how well it would show up here. So I just got a couple of pictures here. So this is the yarn that I'm using is the Malabrigo Ultimate Sock. The color is Under the Sea. So I've just got kind of like that first little bit of helix sequence done. So this is actually the side view where you've kind of got that wishbone cable.
Okay.
So that'll go up the side of each leg. And then there's a front view that's got that 6-stitch cable going up the middle of the sock. And you can see how she even in the detail has like the sides of the cable going into the, I'm again pointing with the mouse, which you can't see, but going into the rib of the sock.
Yeah.
So
well done. Well done.
This is super, super fun. I didn't realize I would have so much fun doing these socks, but I am really enjoying it. Hopefully that will continue to the end of the year. But at the moment, I am really enjoying them. So I just put it on the sock blocker there. And that's the same thing I do as Kelly does. Like I try to do some every morning on it. And sometimes I just pick it up and do it because I want to do it. But I try and at least get some of it done every day so that I am, working consistently on it. But they have been a lot of fun. I thought I might have been bored by now, but it's kind of nice because every month it's a new pattern. So, and they're very
well. I'm so happy that you're on track. I am so happy that you're on track because I have been with you through some other years where you get some pairs behind and then you're stress knitting into December and you're not enjoying. You're like, don't let me do this next year. So I'm really glad that you are staying so motivated to stay on track.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with all your spare time in December?
I don't know. I'm sure I'll be finding something else to do. I'll probably add something else to the list of things that needs to go into the stockings or something.
Okay, so I cast on last week when I had no business casting anything else on because I should have been finishing things. But hey, I got the socks finished that I wanted to finish last week. So I knew I was going to, so I thought I deserve a treat. So I cast on another pair of the heel tab shorties. So I hope everybody's not sick of seeing them because I'm still loving making them.
You had those cast on last week, right?
I had them cast on, but this one is finished. So I finished the first one. I think last week I was right about to this green stripe. I had just done the heel and I'm knitting this. I had only one skein. Sorry, it's another discontinued yarn, but this would be the same for any 50-gram German style yarn. That's what I call it, but it feels like a Regia. And this was the Lion Brand Mani Petty. What is it with Lion? Is it Lion Brand?
Yeah, Lion Brand. I know because that was the other one that they
So anyway, this is just a little 50-gram ball, and I got the first one, and then I used Stroll Pea Pod, which is probably my favorite green in Stroll. I use it a lot in a lot of socks. And so I use that to do the lining of the heel tab and then the toe. And here's the really super cool part. I know that this is a long repeat and I didn't know where the sock was going to end up. I'm going to give these ones away to my daughter. But look, here's what's super cool. So you see how this ends at the purple? And it started at the tail end of the orange. Do I have it in here? Yeah, I do. This is what I had to wind off. This teeny tiny little ball. That's it. That's all I wound off. So, and then I was right at the exact spot to start the next sock. So I started this in the car the other night on the way to the drive-in movie. And so now I'm at the point where like all the trickier part is done. The heel tab is done. I'm down into the sock. So I think this is going to be my plain knitting tomorrow.
Gonna say that would make good plain knitting.
Yeah, because well, actually, if I get the heel done on the way to the airport, then that just leaves me the foot. I can probably do that foot on the plane if I stay awake. So then maybe I'll have a pair to kind of like hand over to her when I get there. But they're so pretty. They're so pretty. Just a simple little.
Talk about them for a minute more. I forgot something.
She waits until I'm done talking about them for her to wander away. But so this is the type of thing though that I was saying that I did like stash busting or stash diving. I had just a random few 50-gram skeins, and it's been kind of a little personal challenge to get these shorty socks, a pair out of these little 50-gram balls. And this is my fourth pair of the heel tab shorties. This is probably, I'm just going to say it, this is probably going to be the best fitting shorty sock I've ever made. This heel tab holds it in place. That sock cannot move. And I just like the fact also, if I want to wear these in runners, how this protects the back of my heel against the runner, right? And I have, you all know, I have the super high instep, and this is perfect in there. So I hope Kendall likes them as much as I do. So as I said, this is my fourth pair, but I've only kept 3, and I'm not bored of them yet. So hopefully you're not. I'll take a break for a while after this. I promise I'll take a break, but you can still expect to see some more heel tab shorties in my future. Okay.
Okay.
What else? Oh, sorry. How much? Haley wants to know, how much do I need? So, well, I'm going to have leftovers. I think I had, it was 27 grams. I think this weighed in as. This whole sock was 27 grams. And I think I still had 31 grams left in here. So that's not counting the contrast. So you can definitely get.
Did you weigh the ball before you started?
Yes, it was 53 grams when I started.
Because that sometimes makes a difference. Like when you're cutting things short, like I always mean to do that. I usually forget, but I always mean to do that, is to try and weigh the balls before, because some are heavy, and occasionally you'll get that one that's maybe only 48 grams or something, and that'll make a difference in what you're going to make with it.
Well, okay. The other thing too is because I really like, I'm more than like, I really almost require my socks to match. I don't do well if socks are a kilter. I can't be the scrappy person. I've tried it. I've made some, I've given them away. I can't wear them myself, even though I'm giving these away. So I really do feel that I need my socks to match. So sometimes if you're just using a 50 gram, that might be tricky depending on the stripe sequence or the pattern sequence. But somehow I managed to make it work. And one very kind viewer reached out to me this week, and she said, you know what? I've got a random skein of that around. If you need it, it's yours. But I was so happy to report to her that I managed to get one pair. So then I've inspired her. She said, well, that now that I know that you did that, I'm going to knit mine up into a one skein pair too. So there you go.
Okay. Sheila wants to know, what heel did you use for it?
I just use, it's a short row. It's just a short row heel. It's a basic short row heel. And it's the one that's in the pattern. You knit across, and I do the, I don't do a wrap and turn. I just do a German short row. So I turn the work, bring the yarn forward, and then flip that first stitch and pull it back. That's how you do that German short row. So, okay.
Okay. So my next.
Oh yeah. And last thing. I should have said, I have a size 8.5 foot. And I probably should have said that. So, because Haley mentioned that I have a bigger foot than her. How do you know this, Haley? Well. Anyway, yeah. So I have an 8.5 foot, and I actually knit those ones a few rows longer because Kendall's foot is just a little longer than mine too. So I probably did an extra 5 rows on that sock foot than I would have done on mine. So lots in a 50 gram.
Okay. So my next whip that I'm working on is my Noelle. Just a minute here. Why cannot I try to put these things in order, and then I still can't find them.
Okay, you show it. I'll go look.
Okay. Okay. So this is the Noelle by Natasha Hornby. And I've got a couple more inches on it. I was basically just at the join here. So I've done this. Now this one is taking a little longer because I can't quite memorize these two. Did I not put it? I must have. I
think you might have deleted it because I did see it earlier. Yes, it's not in there.
So these two panels that go down the front, I still have my knit companion open in order to do that. So it's not something that I can just take anywhere with me, but I think this is going to be a really nice sweater when it's done. So it's going to be one that's I think I can wear into fall because I'm going to do the 3/4 length sleeves on it. This yarn is Sonder Yarns Muse, discontinued. But it is also, this base is available from several other dyers. Indigo Dragonfly has it. The Loving Path, which is a dyer in London, she has a 90% merino, 10% linen. Like there's actually a lot of hand dyers that do have this base. So the base is basically the composition of the yarn is 90% superwash merino, 10% linen. But that 10% linen just gives it this really awesome feel, texture. You can see kind of like the way it dyes. You can still see the little bit of the white linen fibers in there. And this color is called Free Spirit, which this color Sonder Yarns does dye on their other bases.
On lots of bases, yes.
Yes, but it does look different. Like on this base, it looks different than the base that you used.
Yes,
because you had it on the base that's got some dark fiber in the base. So then the yarn comes out kind of more moody, right? So anyway, so I will continue working on this. I do hope I will have it done hopefully by the middle of August or something. So it's because I figure with the longer sleeves, I'm not going to probably be wearing it until later anyway. And I am alternating skeins, but because there's pattern, I'm just doing that yarn forward alternating and it's working out fine. Like I said, I couldn't find it the last time. It's just, where is it? It's just here. So you really, it's because I did it at the texture. You really can't tell where the join is because the texture kind of breaks it up. So, and I think that will be lots of yarn to have the 3/4 sleeves and the body come to where I like it to end at my hip bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Okay. The next one that I have, I cast these on yesterday because I couldn't wait any longer. I thought I'm not waiting until another pair of socks is done because I want to finish them now, or I want to work on them now. I want to take them away with me. And I had ordered some yarn from Knit Picks. I saw this pattern.
Oh,
there's a weird story about this. So, okay, I'll show you the pattern first. Here's the pattern. It's the Mystic Waves sock.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was looking for a yarn that has a really narrow stripe. And I looked at that and I thought, okay, yeah, I'm going to keep an eye out for that. So Knit Picks was having a sale and they sell a yarn called Felicini. I think it's supposed to be kind of a take on you know how there's spaghetti and spaghettini, and it's the thinner spaghetti. So I think there's Felici, which is like that classic 4-row stripe, and then there's the Felicini, which is like 1 to 3 rows. And I bought 2 colorways, and they're so pretty. And the difference between this and the Felici as well is that these come in 100-gram skeins. As opposed to, and they are ridiculously cheap. It's like $10, I think, for this 100-gram skein. So I bought 2 colors. This one is called Bowling Alley, and they came in the mail finally. And then there's this one, which is called Concession Stand.
Oh, that's pretty.
Also very pretty, right? And a lot of these colors kind of perfectly match the other stroll colors. So I paired this one. So I thought, okay, I got the 2 in. Which ones do I want to do? Which one do I want to do? And I decided to do this. I had this one paired with a purple or a blue. I really liked both, but I thought, no, this, because guess what I get to pair this one with? Dogwood Heather.
Dogwood Heather. Oh, that's pretty.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that. So I started knitting this yesterday. I should have put a banner up. Sorry, I've got a banner.
Here,
it is by Ashley Coons. Look at this. Check this out.
That's pretty.
Look at that. Like, tell me that's not the prettiest thing you've seen today. That Dogwood Heather. So beautiful. So I cast this on yesterday and I'm in there knitting away. And then I wanted to look at the pattern page again, or the cover, because I was using Knit Companion. And I thought, And I got looking at it and I thought, why does this look so familiar? Okay, well, here's the thing. I didn't look at what she used. She used the exact same yarn, but she paired it with
paired it with the purple.
And because I kept thinking, wow, her yarn is so similar to mine. I had no idea that that's what she used. So I don't know of any other dyers that are using this kind of micro striping. I don't know. Do you know of any?
Pretty. I don't know. I don't.
There's not a lot of this pattern that's been made. I think there's 30 projects, and it would look just as pretty in the wider stripe.
Mhm.
But I think, and there's a few people that made it in the wider stripe, but honestly, I think you really get that wave with the more narrow stripe. So, but they're so pretty, and it's kind of fun to do too.
Jody wanted to know, does the stroll wear well?
Yes and no. Some of the first pairs that I made in the stroll, when I didn't have very many socks and I was really wearing the heck out of my socks, and I was also not hand washing them. I was machine washing them, and not going to lie, some of them may have even made it into the dryer. So they got a little bit pilly and they do look worn. But I mean, I'm talking about socks that I maybe made 8 years ago, right? That I really wore a lot of. I do feel that this seems to me, just in this amount of time, that this feels ever so slightly thicker than the Felici or the stroll. And I'm not sure why. I'm knitting it on a 2.25. I don't know if it's the type of pattern, if it feels denser, but it just somehow feels a little bit different. It's very, very soft. And so what I would say is, does it wear well? It wears well enough. And I would definitely caution you against machine washing it, even though it says that you can. But what I can say is that I have an entire tote box of these 50-gram skeins, and they are kind of my go-to for heels and toes when I want to match any other pair of socks that I'm making. And I have never worn through a heel or a toe. So
I know, but to be fair, for both of us, we have so many pairs of socks.
We do now, or I do now. Yes.
Yes. That we don't, that it like when someone says like, how well does it wear? Like when you have that many pairs of socks, it depends how often you're wearing them. You know?
Yeah, it really does.
Like, yeah.
But like I said, having said that, I do have, like, I can, one pair specifically that I know that I have, it is a Regia sock yarn, but I used the pumpkin color in Stroll to do the heels and the toes. And I have worn that pair to death almost. And the heels and the toes are not worn out. And when I say worn the heck out of them, I wear them in my Blundstones all the time because it's a black pattern and I love them with that rust toe and heel. I wear them a lot and there's no sign of wear on those heels and toes. So Cheryl says it does feel sturdier than the old Felici. I think it does too. But I mean, I haven't finished a pair and I haven't worn them, but you can't beat it for softness. You really can't. They are so soft. And I just think this is such a pretty pattern.
It is. It's gorgeous.
Like even from a distance, just look at that. It's just, it's happy. And, well, I mean, even this, this skein is pretty beat up because it's been in a bag because I've also used this color in my Advent socks. And you can see it looks kind of beat up, right? But I mean, it's been beat up. So I don't know. But again, it's $10 for an entire skein. So no, it's not a German yarn. It's not a German sock yarn. It's not Croy. It's not Croy. Okay. But
Croy wears well.
Yeah, Croy wears well.
So. Okay. So my next whip, I started a new sweater and let me just, I'll try to bring the banner up without, whoop. It is the Colette Tee by Sari Nordland. And I do have a picture of hers. If I don't delete it. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, so it's kind of, it's got a little bit of lace in between, like kind of an elongated cable pattern. And I actually saw I was watching a podcast, I think it was Chaotic Knitting, and she was wearing it and I loved it. And it's not necessarily this picture because it's in a color that I would like to have, but probably wouldn't knit. But the podcaster was wearing it in this like orangey coral color and it looked amazing. So
and I will, in fairness, I would say that's a bit of a different That's a little departure from your normal style of sweater too.
Mhm. But I've cast it on and I'm loving it.
It looks so good.
Like, I love it. So this is the yarn that I'm using is Durera Natura Antigone, which is 100% linen. So my gauge is smaller. I believe that the gauge that she calls for in the pattern is 19 stitches. Mine is 22, but I did the math and I'm doing the size to get the finished size that I need. And the Antigone, I am working with it out of this handy little knitting bag.
Yes.
So
Needs to go in a bag.
the Antigone doesn't grip onto itself, being 100% linen, and it's rolled in this ball. So what I have it is just in a little Ziploc bag, which I only keep the end open and kind of pull it across. And then I just pull out some yarn that I need, and it kind of keeps it all together in my knitting bag. Because if I put that in my knitting bag with nothing, the yarn would all come off the cake. So Julia gave me a little tip about that. So I am really, really enjoying this, which is probably why my meal is not done. So this color is called Mandarin, and I actually even like knitting with 100% linen. I thought I would really not like it, but this actually has been not that bad to knit with. So this sweater starts with, you do the back piece and then you pick up for the front. So again, so when you look at the back, it's got this really nice, where I'll show you here.
Oh, okay, on the diagonal a bit.
Yeah. So it's kind of like on the diagonal. So you get that lace pattern going down the shoulder. So you've got that on both sides. So then you knit a little bit and then you join at the front neckband there. And so now I'm just at the point I'm under like that much under the arm. So you just continue knitting down to the length that you want. And then I haven't decided how long I'm going to do the sleeves on it. I'll see when I get there. So I'm hoping, I know I'm barely into the second skein. So the Antigone really does have pretty good yardage in it. I think it's classed as a sport weight yarn.
Yes, it is.
But I am really liking it at this gauge. And I know we watch Beth McDonald Stone and she absolutely loves this yarn, and I'm beginning to see why. And right at the moment, it feels a little bit crunchy, but I know that after it's washed, it's going to soften up.
Definitely.
So super enjoying that knit and the color, and that one I do want to have done because it's linen, so I could be wearing it. But super fun, easy pattern. That pattern actually is easy to take with you to do something, because a lot of the patterns in between, like your cable at the top and the bottom, are just all exactly the same. It's just a ribbed pattern. So
right. Helen has a little tip too. She puts a doggy poop bag. She puts the yarn in a doggy poop bag and puts an elastic around the top so that the yarn just feeds out. That's a great idea. And then somebody else, New York Knitter, says that's one way to keep people from touching your yarn. You're not wrong.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And you're right, Deborah. Antigone has gorgeous colors. I went on to buy one color and I couldn't choose between two, so I had to buy both.
Yes, absolutely.
And Kelly's got a gorgeous color in it too.
Yeah, I have it in the teal. I just have to figure out what I want to make with it.
Yep.
So, okay. Do you have anything else?
Yes, I do. This is a repair that I'm going to do on a sweater.
Okay.
So this is my and look, I actually have a semi-neutrally colored sweater.
Yes, you do.
This is my Ilha by, do you remember who it was by?
Orlan Souche.
Okay. Yeah. No, yes, I think it was. Okay. So this I did 2 years ago, I think, and I did it in Drops Bell, and it was the first time that I'd worked with Drops Bell. Well, this neckband has all stretched out of shape. And I mean, the rest of the sweater,
it's a flash dance neckband now.
That's right. The rest of the sweater is fine, but the neckband's kind of all stretched out of shape. So I went back. I still have almost half a skein of yarn left. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up around all that neckband, and I'm going to put a couple of rows of rib on it.
Yeah,
just to bring that neckline in, because right at the moment I will not wear it because I feel like it keeps falling off my shoulders. Yeah. And I don't think that, I think it's this partly the style of the sweater, partly the yarn, but I think even throwing it in the dryer is not going to bring that in and keep it in enough for making it comfortable to wear. So I'm going to do that this week because I could be wearing this now. So this, I believe, is the Drop Bell. The color was
sand
water.
Oh, rosewater.
Rosewater. Yeah. And this color they do still have. So it's a neutrally, but it's kind of got just that little hint of a blush shade in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick that up, bring that neckband in, and hopefully that'll be ready to wear.
Okay.
Okay. And my last whip. My last whip is spinning.
This is a marathon.
I'm doing Tour de Fleece. I haven't slept a lot this week. Okay, so I'm doing Tour de Fleece, and my goal for Tour de Fleece is just to spin at least a half an hour every day.
Mm-hmm.
So because my spinning wheel's here, and I love the hand spun yarn, and I really want to get back into spinning and put it on, you know, something that I kind of build into doing every day. And my spinning wheel set up, it's easy to do. So I already had kind of a little bit of this started. I had 30 grams spun. So I have now spun another 50 grams of it. So this is a Wellington Fibers. It is a not merino. It is a wool silk mohair blend. But look at the sheen on that. It's just like
beautiful.
And the color is called Whale Watching. So I am going to do it as a 2-ply. So I've got, I think about another, I had 30 done. I've done another 50. I've got about 20 grams left to spin. So I'm hoping to have that spun by tomorrow. And for next week, we'll have a finished skein of yarn.
Very nice.
Really looking forward to doing that, getting more. The next one I'm going to do, I want to do a really colorful braid because I'm going to kind of intersperse it with the colorful ones and the kind of like the tonal ones and see how much I can get done. And hopefully that habit will continue even once the Tour de Fleece is over. So the Tour de Fleece basically runs from the 29th of June until July 21st.
Right.
So I have found that I actually, once I sit down and spin, it's easy to sit down and spin for longer than the half an hour. It's just the fact of getting to the spinning wheel and actually doing it. So,
Good.
Okay. So that's it.
That's it. All right. Before we've just got a little bit more. Boy, oh boy, we're at an hour and 36 minutes. I'm so sorry, friends, if you've been hanging in with us. This is great. We've got more to come, and there's another giveaway too. So hang on.
Yeah.
Lauren says that West Yorkshire Spinners has a color called Milk Bottle, and it might be a good substitute for Marshmallow. So definitely I haven't ever seen that, but I'll be on the lookout for it now. And Eileen McDonald is looking for a reference for sock measurements.
Okay.
I know that you had that reference once before.
I will
link it. Okay.
Yes, it's a Craft Yarn Council. If you can type it in, Google it, Craft Yarn Council, and they actually have sizing charts for, they've got them for socks. They've got them for all measurements for kids, babies, not just in socks, for garments as well. But I will link that in the show notes. I better write that down though.
Okay. And I just wanted to show, with my Knit Picks order, I ordered a few more things too, because you can't just order 2 skeins. You have to get a few more things. So I will show you what I got. I bought, you already saw this one, the Bowling Alley. And then I just grabbed 2 more. These are colors I absolutely didn't have in Stroll. So I'm hoarding all the 50 gram skeins. This one is pretty. This is called Candy Pink. And then this one is Blue Steel Heather. So it's kind of that perfect blue that'll go with a lot of things. And then I tried a new yarn that they have, which I'm excited about. So I bought a sweaters quantity. This is a new DK yarn. It's called, oops, the band is all twisted. It's called Wood Note DK.
Pretty. That's really pretty.
It's really, really nice. And this color is Black Currant. These are 100 gram skeins. I had a 20% off sale, but even at regular price, they are $15.99 US. And that's for 100 grams. There is 223 yards in that, or 204 meters. So I got this color, and then I got a contrast yarn. I'm thinking obviously of a sweater, maybe a cardigan. And this one is called Mouse. And I really like the way these two pair together, just for a nice fall neutral. So I'm pretty excited about this yarn. It's really nice. Yarn? So it's a Blue Face Leicester Massam blend. And the Massam is giving you those the dark bits in there. You can see like in the fiber. This is really soft too. And I'm excited to see what I can come up with for that. but I just
Pretty.
thought such a good price and a new yarn. So why not? And then you went somewhere on the weekend, so
Yes,
you've got
I
some
went
yarn to show.
to Little Red Mitten. So they were having a trunk show for Firefly Haven Fibers, who is Pam, who also works at the store. So she had lots of wonderful tonal colored sock yarn. So I had to pick up some for my Lord of the Rings socks. So her base is called Mabel Superwash Socks, or at least the base I got. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. There's 115 grams or 425 yards. So this is the first color that I got. So I think this color is actually going to be for my socks. This is called Lavender Fields.
It's so pretty.
So pretty.
So
yeah.
pretty.
So I got that one. And then I also got this one, which is, I believe, is going to be for my Mary socks.
Oh, very nice.
So this one is called Pumpkin Spice Latte.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that color. And then Jolyn and Pam have given us a little giveaway here. So we've got this gorgeous skein here, which is called Candied Cherries.
Gorgeous.
Like, look how
So
pretty
beautiful.
that is.
So
and
beautiful.
Then Pam also does some patterns. So they've also included this. I don't know if you can see the pattern there, but they've included this sock yarn pattern to go with it. So we are going to do this as a giveaway over this week. So it's not a live giveaway, but we're going to do it over this week. So even if you're watching now, go in after and really just give us a comment about what you're knitting on this summer.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, so just what you're knitting on this summer, and we will go in. We will do a draw for this before next week. Remember, next week is going to be on Monday. So, and I will link, she does have a shop. So I will link the Firefly Haven Fiber shop in the show notes.
Okay.
But yeah, so just go in, make a comment. Now, not right now. You have to do this after
the show
podcast, and leave a comment, and we will draw for this next week. So you will get both the pattern and this beautiful skein of, I know, I love this color.
It's really pretty.
But I was trying to just get stuff for my socks. So anyway, and yeah, so thank you to Pam and Jolyn, and one lucky viewer is going to be able to do socks, or, you know, knit the socks in something else and use this that would make a beautiful shawl.
It would. It's beautiful. It's a really gorgeous color.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of fun to go and do that. And she did have some gorgeous colors, and it's nice to see some of the tonals, especially if you're going to do a pattern sock, because your pattern's going to show up a lot better than if you use a variegated yarn. So, okay.
Mirka says she has to go to sleep. Thank you and good night from Prague.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow. It's almost time to get up there, I think.
Okay.
Anyway, well, thanks for staying with us.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. And we hope that everybody has an amazing week. For all of our friends in the US, we know that you have the 4th of July coming up. So have a safe, happy, joyful holiday weekend, and take care, everybody. We will see you next week on Monday.
Right.
And
I will be in BC. And I will be there for 2 weeks too. So I am getting together with the West Coast girls, and we are going to a yarn store, and then we are going to have high tea. And I am so excited to have that, to go and do that. And it's just fun to see friends. And so if you happen to be somewhere near the Chilliwack area, that's where I will be hanging out for a part of that anyway. And then after that, we are headed up to, we're going yes, we're going to Smithers. We'll see how that goes. We're flying up there. So anyway, it's going to be a busy 2 weeks. I'm looking really forward to it, and I can't wait. Can't wait.
Okay.
So I got to go do some packing, because that plane will leave without me tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
So everybody have a great week. Remember, go in, put your comments in there. We will draw for this next week, and happy knitting.
Happy knitting.